Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Automation Show. We are thrilled to introduce you to our brand new podcast series celebrating the champions of the manufacturing world. I am with Dr. Sanjeev, and let me ask Dr. Sanjeev, why this podcast for?
Thanks, Rahul. India has immense potential and it has a potential to become the number one superpower in the world. And manufacturing has to play that most important role. What does it take India to get to the number one in the world? The aim of this podcast is to get those stories, those are not really common, rare stories from the champions of manufacturing that everyone can apply in whatever they do that can take India to become the number one superpower in manufacturing world.
So, Dr. Sanjeev, why this name Automation Show?
बहुत अच्छा सवाल राहुल. Automation at this point of time is the most important element to improve the efficiency. Without automation, it is very difficult to improve efficiency, and speed is connected with that. And automation is something which everyone has to do. It's not an option anymore. मैं चाहे बहुत बड़ा फैक्ट्री हूं या मैं छोटा फैक्ट्री हूं, doesn't really matter. Automation is not an option anymore. That's why the name of the show is Automation Show, and something that everyone can adopt. Plants with one machine to 10 machine to 100 machine to 1000 machine with even no machines and only doing processes, even they can do. That's why the name Automation Show.
And if I had to ask you, what is in it for our audiences?
There's plenty for all the audiences. Let me tell you first. India's manufacturing GDP right now is around 16%, around $600 billion. The objective and the aim is to take this to 25% in next 3 years. So this jump would require people to change their processes. It will require them to automate. It will require them to produce more quality. It will require them to innovate. So the audience can listen to this podcast, can get tips and how-tos and some of the framework and formula that can help them to grow their manufacturing business, whether it is to export or whether it is in the domestic market, help them to produce quality parts and quality parts more efficiently.
I truly support this idea. And if I had to ask you, why is it Renishaw doing this?
At Renishaw, we have always believed in the power of manufacturing in India. For Renishaw, we have been in India for last 25 years, and we always had the inner belief that India will become the superpower in manufacturing. And we think it is the opportune time to bring all the ecosystem players, all the stakeholders in this manufacturing world, whether it is somebody making parts, somebody supplying machine, somebody doing system, somebody doing processes, engineers, students, and help them to learn from the experts around the world and get their game one notch above. So that's why we think it is our responsibility to do this at this point of time.
No, truly, I agree with you, Dr. Sanjay. I think this series of podcasts is definitely going to help the Indian manufacturing industry and all who are working in the manufacturing industry, where we contribute a lot. We recently shot our first podcast with a very eminent personality from the manufacturing industry. Can you tell us something about the first podcast to our viewers?
Sure. We had an opportunity to interview incredible Mr. Rajesh Nath, Managing Director of VDMA India. I'd like to just give a peep about that. Do listen to that. Whether you are a student, whether you are an engineer, whether you are a plant head, whether you are CEO, whoever you are, have anything to do in manufacturing, you will get some of the most practical insight that can impact not only your daily routine, but your plan and your habits to bring transformation in the manufacturing. I was completely blown away by the conversation that we had.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sanjeev. I think we are going to bring the automation for everyone. And this series of podcast is going to contribute a lot to the young minds, those who want to learn about manufacturing, the manufacturers, and to the overall industry. And I want to tell our viewers, please stay tuned as we release our first podcast soon next week, most probably. And this is going to be an exciting journey, and I'm really looking forward to have more and more interactions with you, Dr. Sanjeev.
Yes, and the last word, if you have anything to do with manufacturing, we forget that. If you have anything to do with the growth of India and to take India to number one in the world, you should listen to this series of podcasts and stay tuned with Automation Show, because this is for you. This is not only for Renishaw. This is for you as an individual. Watch the space.
Thank you, everyone, for watching us, and we look forward to engaging with you soon. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Sanjeev.
Thank you, Rahul.